Guys, welcome to this video. I'm sitting down with one of our successful students, Genevieve. Genevieve, thank you so much for making this happen and taking the time out of your day to talk to me and let me get a little bit behind the scenes and ask you some questions on your journey and a little bit of feedback. So thank you so much again. Um, do you mind introducing yourself like a little bit, like where are you from for those who don't know a lot about you just yet?
Okay, well, thank you, Balas, for having me here. I am getting into your program was like very important for me, so I'm happy to be able to tell the other ones what was my experience. Well, my name is Genevieve. I live in Ecuador. I am 42 years old. I am a single mother with a daughter of 3 years old. And I have my profession that I have been doing for 15 years. And then I find you in Instagram, and yeah, things change in my life.
That's awesome. That's a very short story on how did it happen. Do you remember, like, how did you find me? Was it something that I posted? Did you see something on a different page? Do you remember that?
I follow someone in Instagram, and he recommended to see your profile, and he recommended about appointment setting. So that's why I check on your profile, and I find it very interesting because I was in a moment where I live in Ecuador, so the economy here is kind of unstable, and I was thinking that probably I need like another way to make more money per month.
Got it. And before we started talking, did you have any idea what appointment setting is or was or how that works?
I began when I find you in Instagram, I didn't know anything about appointment setting. Like it was like, oh yeah, this is kind of interesting. Like I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember like what made you interested about it? Or what was there like one thing that specifically stood out to you amongst, because if you look at the online space, there's a bunch of different opportunities where you could go and start and try and make a side hustle. Do you remember what was that? If there was one thing, I don't know if there was one that stood out to you the most.
Um, the financial like thing, like you were telling like you can do 5,000 a month working on your phone. Like I was like, oh yes, I can do that. So probably the quantity of money was like important for me
Got it.
to get interested.
Got it. And like back then you had like what were you doing back then? Like did you have a day job or like what were you doing?
Yes, I have a day job. I have a lot of responsibilities in my job. I It's not like a day job of for 8 to 5. I work by in my home online all the time, and my schedule was kind of flexible. So that's why another thing that I say, okay, I can put some more hours in my day to work and get much more money than what I was doing with my profession.
Got you. Okay. So do you mind giving a little bit of feedback for some people who might be thinking, okay, like how does this look like? When you joined us, what was your like first impression of the program, of me, of like how we're doing things? Was it super overwhelming? Was it well structured? Like, was it easy to follow? What were your first thoughts?
The first thing is that I really like the Facebook community, like people talking about these things and asking questions, and I felt really good to be there. Like I also something that was good for me is that I am a 42 single mom, and I was expecting to find on the Facebook group a lot of young people, like younger people, but there was like a lot of people like from different backgrounds and countries, and that was interesting to see that we are all in the same thing, and in the same
Exactly.
path.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
trying to build this kind of community, which is super cool for many reasons. And it's really cool to see that now we have this like community group chat where you guys interact, ask questions, and support each other. That's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that was nice.
Cool. So you had your day job. That's cool. You joined us. That's awesome. Congratulations on making the decision. Fast forward to today. How are things looking like right now? Like, how does your, let's say, day in the life look like today?
Mm-hmm. Well, I am working in a company of a relationship coach. and I am working between 2 and 3 hours per day, generally on the nights or on the moments when I am not with my daughter. So I included into my daily routine, online routine in the house, these 2 or 3 hours to do some appointment setting work for the company I am working right now.
Mhm. And how does that work look like? Like, do you sit on your computer and type messages? Do you work from your phone? Do you work from a like laptop? Like, how does that actually look like?
Yeah, I am working specifically on the Instagram of the company, DMing people there, like generally cold leads that they are just like beginning to know the content that we shared. Uh, mm, and what else? Well, we on the last months we have been doing like 10-minute calls, like not specifically DMing, but having these calls to qualify the prospects, and that was very interesting for me. And it really worked well. Like I really had like a good quantity in commissions for the last 2 months working with the short calls.
Yeah, it's great to see, how the actual appointment setting is tied to the sales process. That's very cool. And
Yeah, it's
do you mind
going there.
sharing like numbers in commissions so just people who are watching, they could see, let's say you put in 2 to 3 hours a day, what is possible to take home for you, if you don't mind me
Yeah.
asking that, of course.
Yes. Well, I when I was beginning to talk with the company, I went again into the curriculum that you put together, and I looked into the offer part, and you recommended to ask for a retainer and then a
Yes.
commission. So that's why what I negotiated with them. So I am having a retainer that it's 800 per month,
Mhm.
and I am getting the 5% per quick call that I am having. So if they
For the appointment setting.
buy,
Yes.
I will have the 5%. So
Got it.
last month I had in total with the retainer 3,000.
Okay, so you made $3,000 working 2 to 3 hours a day. Is it 5 days a week or do you work every single day?
Um, 5 days a week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
5 days a week.
sometimes four, depending.
Okay. Yeah, of course, like when you have the opportunity, this is what I tell my students is, of course, this appointment setting is a very, I like to call it fair compensated position, meaning the more you put in, the more you get out. If there's opportunity, go for it and you can. But of course, set
Yeah.
your boundaries. If weekends are a no-go for you, tell that to the business owner and make sure that you guys agree on that. That's
Mhm.
cool. I
Mhm.
mean, I'll let you, whoever's watching this, decide, is that cool to make 3 grand working 2 to 3 hours a day? I think it is. Um, but let me ask you this, and congratulations for this so far. What do you think would be your life right now if you would not have made the decision a couple months ago to join us? Like, how would life look like?
Well, I was in that moment, I was really with a lot of work on my shoulders for my own profession, but I was not really happy because I was stressed a lot because I had a lot of debt and things like that I needed to pay.
Mhm.
And also something important, like not to put like everything on one basket. Like I was having everything in one
Right.
basket. And the university that I worked for was we didn't have enough students for that cohort. So I was like, how I am going to pay all my debt? And now it feels completely different because I know I have like the security for a retainer that it's very good, especially for the country where I live. That's a lot of money. And also like having this possibility to in different parts in the company where I work, we have lunches. So I know that twice per year I will have like a good opportunity to make like a good money in commissions. The
Exactly.
rest of the time I will still have commissions and good money, but now I am in a good moment on the year, and that gives me like a lot of freedom, and I am very happy paying all my things that I needed to pay. So I feel very like relieved. I was not relieved before. I was like always trying to do something to be able to pay my things.
Love it. And for you guys watching, as you guys understand, like Genevieve is from Ecuador. And her, like, your first language is Spanish, if I'm not
Spanish.
mistaken.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Spanish.
you're not even native English speaker and you work with an English company in the US,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
In Germany specifically, but it's
it's
in
look it's yeah, it's funny. I thought you were working with an English based or a US based company, and now you tell me it's German. Main point is if you are a native English speaking person, for you it's just so much easier. But let me ask you this, like, what do you think was the hardest part about getting this opportunity?
um, getting this opportunity, changing my mindset.
What do you mean by that?
I was like before I find you in Instagram, and I was kind of thinking that life is what it is and that you cannot do anything more about it. Like it was like, okay, this is my job, this is my profession, that's what I can charge per hour, and yeah, that's myself. And I decided like I am doing also another courses with respect to mindfulness and mindset and things like that. And then you appeared
Great.
in my life, and I say, okay, yeah, I can work for someone in the other part of the world that is really making a lot of money, and I can offer my services. Like if I have 2 to 3 hours and I have confidence in myself also to do this, I can really change my financial situation. So that's what happened. Like really, I got this opportunity, and my life is really completely different of what it was 6 months ago or 8 months ago.
Congratulations to that. And you said something very important. It's all about confidence. Of
Yeah,
course, and training helps, and we give you the blueprint and all the different steps, but you got to be confident about yourself.
yeah.
And that's one of the most important things. So congratulations for that. Do you remember, was it like a thing that almost made you not join us in the beginning?
It was a lot of money for me to pay. Like I was like, okay, I am with a lot of debt. Can I pay this? Like I will use my credit card, but I am not sure if I'm going to be able to pay this. And
Yeah.
after a few months that I didn't really landed any client, I was like, okay, I just put it on the credit card, and I know that I have to pay for the next year, and probably I am learning something that will serve me someday. Like I was like, okay, it was like a lot of money for me.
Yeah,
And I
that's
am happy I really take that step because that changed my life.
and that's what a lot of people, of course, say because it's a lot of money, but you want to need to understand that it's an investment in yourself because that's a skill that now nobody can take from you.
Yeah.
And I know that you have your own practice that you are thinking about in the near future, starting to build your own online business with. This is something
Mm-hmm.
that you can use that as like the first step or the foundational step to start getting more clients towards that too. So that's very cool. And I have one final question for you before we wrap this up is if you were to recommend what we do to somebody, like who do you think this would be useful?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have been talking with a lot of friends here, like my closest friends. They are seeing that my position now is completely different. So yeah, I am thinking about like, well, my friends are mothers and single mothers, so that's like the first people I think. Like probably I have a lot of people and friends that are entrepreneurs, and they are having their own ideas and they are trying to put that to work. But I completely understand that, and I think it's important to continue working on what we want to do in life, or what our mission. But also, if we want our mission to get better, we need to have more money to do that. So probably finding like an appointment setter job on the side helps you to have the money to be able to invest in your own things.
Exactly. And keep in mind,
So
that's something I think it's very smart that my mentors told me before I got started is if you're
mhm,
trying to start something online, don't start a business that's costly, takes a lot of time, skill, effort, like what most people as beginners just don't have. But if you learn a skill like this, then you can work with already established and successful business owners. You can learn and see how they run their business from the inside while you're earning income.
yeah,
And that's exactly what you're doing.
yeah.
So, with that being said, Genevieve, thank you so much for doing this little interview with me. Keep crushing, share us more awesome results, And thank you guys for watching. I cannot wait to see you in the next one.
Thank you, Balas.